Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nemeka Onyeka Oderiri. My duty and my responsibility, my civic obligation as the citizen of Nigeria is to always advocate and provide creative solutions that can help us to grow the real sector of the economy, especially through the agro-value chain. Something happened just yesterday. I was talking with some of my team members and my partners, and we were thinking about, there's a place we got about 270 hectares of land. We're developing the first 30 hectares. We are doing 10 hectares super habanero pepper orchard. We are doing 10 hectares 100,000 high yielding variety moringa oleifera. The plan is to process it into moringa powder, moringa oil, and then do moringa cake. Then we are doing 10 hectares and of plantain, the hybrid plantain, about 200,000 suckers, and the plan is to process it and process plantain flour, plantain chips, and then use the peels for animal feed input. Now, we had mini tractors we were using. We decided to say we were going to bring bigger tractors, to help create pathways and all the rest of them and to hasten the work. So we started making calls. It's so unfortunate that, even most of the University of Agriculture in the Southeast do not have reliable tractors, healthy tractors. And interestingly, the nearest place we got tractors that will move from within the Southeast, that will just move a distance of less than 60 kilometers from Enugu to Oka. They told us that for them to move the tractors, we'll have to pay 700,000 for the low bed truck that will move it, 350 going, 350 bringing it back. Then we'll pay 250,000 for a day walk, working for 8 hours, and then we'll fuel it, diesel of 80 to 100 liters a day. And I ran the numbers, crazy numbers. So to move the tractors, move the tractors with the low bed, we'll take about 700,000, 1.2 million for the 5 days work. So added to 700,000, and then plus diesel cost for the 5 days the tractor will work. Even at average, diesel in the Southeast is going for almost about 1,150, 1,200. Even let us even use the lower figure for 5 days. So the cost of operating the tractor, bringing it and operating it for 5 days will be about 2.5 million naira. Let us even assume the tractor is able to do 5 to 10 hectares within those 5 days, doing the main work. Let us even use the highest output, which is about, so we're looking at an average cost of between total cost of the project will take us about 252 to 400 to 500,000 naira to do a hectare, and which is quite funny in the sense that we know that to run such an operation will have been cheaper if we have huge supply of tractors, of mechanized equipments within the Southeast and every part of Nigeria. And that brings me to the question of it's one thing to we want to diversify and create non-oil revenue from the low-hanging fruit, which is agriculture. It's another thing to take practical steps towards it. Nigeria is one country that God has blessed so enormously. We have 92 million hectares of land mass, 64 million hectares of arable land mass, massive water tributaries from Niger to Benue to Imo River to everything. We have huge human capital. Over 210 million Nigerians are below the age of 65. So a huge working population of over 130 million people, which is a key factor of production. We have the land, one of the factors of production, everything that God has naturally endowed us. We have the human capital, the population to drive it. But two missing ingredients, the funding and the equipment and machineries. We know that we do not produce machineries in Nigeria. We do not have capacities to assemble enough tractors. Netherlands, Indonesia, which share the same demography like us, has over 211,000 tractors working in their agri sector. 28 million farmers. 70% of them are peasant farmers. In South Africa, we have 32,000 commercial farmers. They export over $13.7 billion worth of agro commodities. We have in Nigeria 72 million farmers, yet food inflation is on the rise. We import over $11 billion worth of agro commodities annually, including rice and everything, even palm oil that we used to control 45% of the global palm oil market. Now, the question is, for a country that wants to diversify, for us, we need at least 200,000 to 1 million tractors to be able to harness our deep potentials as a country. We need at least 1 million to 2 million smart farmhouses. We need a lot of other agro equipment and technology, for us to drive smart agripreneurship. It will require almost about $100 to $200 billion over the next 10 years to do this. Government cannot provide all this money. It requires private sector input. Now, what are we doing to incentivize the private sector? You see this argument. Agri is a key sector. Equipment we don't manufacture, so it's invariably that we must have to import, which will catalyze productivity. And to import it, any smart thinking government in Abuja, what they will do is very simple. This idea of, you must have to get letter from approval from Ministry of Agriculture, get letter from Ministry of Finance, pay the flight ticket of those there to fly to go and see where your farm is. It's madness. It does not make sense. A smart thinking country will have removed all those encumbrances, all those bureaucratic bottlenecks that will enhance public sector profligacy and greed and corruption. And so, as long as you're bringing equipment and tractors into Nigeria, bulldozers, haulage truck, refrigeration equipment and everything, as long as it meets this, it has SON certification, once you bring it in at the port and it's certified, this is what you're bringing, zero tariff. Zero tariff. Whether you're even selling, this argument, people will bring it and sell. It's simple. When there is, why I am being forced, I must hire the tractor for 250,000 naira a day. I must buy diesel of 120,000 naira a day. I must pay the low bed that will bring the tractor from Enugu to Oka and back for 700,000. It's because there is no supply. The demand is more than supply. Assuming in the southeast we have 2 to 30,000 tractors, everybody will be competing among them. The prices will crash. And when the cost of production crashes, cost of food will come low. So it does not matter whether my demand is important to sell. If we have 100 sellers who are importing 30,000 and they don't have any buyer, won't they crash their price? Simple logic, simple economics, equal 101. So I want to appeal to Mr. President. Let me tell you, Nigeria today, we consume 2.4 million tons of palm oil. We only produce about 1,050,000 tons. To cover the domestic supply gap, which is actually still growing. The supply is growing at an average of about cumulative average growth rate of about 7.2% per annum. To be able to meet the domestic demand, we must have to increase supply by planting at least new 90 to 120 million super tenera trees, over 500 to 700,000 hectares of land. It will take billions of dollars to do it. We need at least 1 million smart farmhouses. We need a lot of things: irrigation equipment, storage facilities, tractors, bulldozers, haulage trucks, storage, refrigerated trucks. All these things for a country that is smart. What will have simply done is for the Minister for Agriculture, the presidency, to amend all the relevant laws. You don't need to go to Minister of Agriculture. You don't need to go to Minister of Finance. As long as you're bringing in the equipment, which will help to enhance productivity, bring it in. If today we have 2,500 to 4,000 agro clusters, industrial clusters, just like what Michael Obama did from Ereyi to London, if we have such in Nigeria today, we will generate nothing less than $250 billion in Nigeria every year from the agriculture, create nothing less than 30 to 40 million jobs, well-paying jobs, not peanut-paying jobs. From a hectare of the palm plantation, by the 5th year, even if you don't want to process it, you will hand it over to those who process. They will just harvest it. The person who owns it is making about 7.5 million revenue every year. From the moringa, 1 hectare moringa oleifera plantation, fully managed, whoever owns it is making nothing less than $32,000 every year. Both from the leaves to the oil, it's a miracle tree. and it's growing. Its usage is global. It's fire. Is it plantain? Cash cow. There's one tiny company in Côte d'Ivoire. They have just about 1,700 hectares of Cavendish banana plantation. They came from France in 2006. Every year they generate about $53 million from 1,700 hectares of banana. Exporting it. Nigeria has the potentials to become a cash cow in the agro value chain, doing smart agro entrepreneurship. But the problem is that we have people in Abuja and the states who are not thinking smart. We don't need to be doing it. I went to South Africa the other day, 2003. Energy week. We are flying business class and first class, oil and gas people. We are busy making noise, drinking champagne, coming down into Cape Town. We saw 125 private jets packed. South African farmers, they were having their own week in Cape Town. This year, the number is almost about 375 private jets, propeller aircrafts. They all have airstrips from what they use. They use technology to drive agriculture. Look at small Netherlands, 1.5 million hectares of land. Arable land mass, 122 billion euro export every year. Look at Kenya, look at South Africa, look at the Botswana. And every day we claim that of Africa. We allow our forest and our land to be inhabited by bandits and criminals and kidnappers when we can utilize 10-15 million hectares of our land. Energize our people, allow equipment and the order to come into Nigeria duty free without any hazards. And we will sweat wealth, we will create value, we will create jobs, we will tackle insecurity, and this country will become a beehive of paradise and economic activities. For those of you from the southeast, that is where we are focusing our business, our efforts. So you can develop your palm plantation. You can use don't allow your land to remain fallow. Turn it into a better biological asset, real estate, and wealth. We will guide you, we will work with you, we will help you. You can hit me on 0813 444 1140. WhatsApp 090909000989. Let's do this. Beg government president, beg the Minister for Agriculture, Minister of Finance. All those bottlenecks they created, they should remove them. I don't need to fill any IDEC form. Let's go to Minister for Agriculture and Minister of Finance to get approval to import equipment duty free to produce and create jobs in Nigeria. Come on now, make we use our brain. God bless you. Share, please.